Welcome to the Sam and Joe VA Show, where we teach women just like you how to start and scale a thriving virtual assistant business.
We're your hosts, Sam and Joe, and get ready to have the control, flexibility, and freedom you've always dreamed of.
Welcome to episode 67, How to Charge for Travel Time.
Now, I reckon there's going to be a few people that listen into this one and go, well, hold on. We're virtual assistants, so we only work virtually. Why on earth would we be charging for travel time? But we're seeing a bit of a change in both the expectations that some clients have around their virtual assistants if they live locally, or even if they live within the same country. We're seeing virtual assistants that are being flown all around the country to attend meetings, to take minutes and transcribe and things like that, aren't we?
Yeah, and set up or run an event or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely. It is, like you say, if you're in the same country, it's something you could offer if you want to. You don't have to, but you could. And so we see this question come up fairly regularly.
Mm.
How do I charge for travel time? Am I charging the moment I step out of my front door? Am I charging my plane ride time? Am I charging mileage? Am I charging a higher hourly rate? Like, how does it work? And I think our overall advice is there is no right or wrong way to charge for travel time. The important thing is that it must be agreed upfront with the client.
Yeah, it's one of those tough conversations we talk about virtual assistants needing to have that. Like, you've stepped up into this business owner role. This is the type of thing you need to be comfortable talking about straight off the bat.
It doesn't have to be weird or awkward at all. Your client is a business. They know that this is a business relationship. They know that it's a paid business relationship. And so this is just one of the agreements that you make with them. So when they say, hey, like, I'd love for you to come to whatever city, I want to run this event, like, I'll get you on a plane and we'll have you come and attend. How does that sound? And you say, oh, yeah, that would be amazing. Awesome. That is the moment to be like, right, if it's appropriate, if that's just a passing comment, like, let's figure that out later, that's fine. But if they're like, right, we want to do this, you either organize another time to talk about it or talk about it right now and say, cool, let's talk about how this will work. So, would you like me to book my own flights? I'll need to get myself to the airport. Are you happy for me to charge my travel time from, when I leave my door? How about we do like a day rate for this whole event that can cover all of my travel and being there for the day? And then we'll add on the flight cost. So if you're happy with that, how about I go away, I have a think about what it could be, and I'll come back to you and we'll get that agreed up front.
Easy.
The client will be like, oh, wow, this person's proactive and organized and thinking ahead for these things. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong way, but let's give you a few options that you could sort of discuss with your client or ways that you could charge for this travel time. So the way that I do it in my VA business most of the time, if it's us driving to a location to take minutes or set up or something like that, there's not flights or anything involved, we have an hourly rate that is a higher hourly rate for on-site work, and it needs to be a minimum of 3 hours. And that higher hourly rate is right up front in their proposal as one of the other rates. So it'll be here's the service plan, here's the hourly rate for virtual work, and then here's the on-site rate, and it has a minimum of 3 hours. So that they've already got that in their proposal, and they've already agreed that up front. However, they will not remember that is in there. So when they ask you to come on site, then you'll say, cool, yep, that's no problem. We've agreed that rate up front, so it'll be X number of dollars per hour for that time that I'm there. Is that cool with you? And so that higher hourly rate means that you're actually covering the travel time in that higher hourly rate when you're on site. and the mileage that you need to get there. So make it substantially higher. Make it a minimum of 3 hours so that you're actually covering it. And then, you can make sure that you just mention it to the client again, remind them what it is. It's all agreed and beautiful. Perfect. You can go on site and then put it on your invoice.
Sounds so easy, Jo.
It is easy. You think about it up front.
Yeah.
And get it sorted.
Yeah.
The other option that we have is for some clients, we just have one virtual hourly rate, and then we've agreed with them that if we ever need to go anywhere or do anything, we'll charge from the moment that we leave our office or that team member's home, and they go off and they do whatever it is, that will be charged at that hourly rate. And depending on, so we have a few company cars that team members can use, and they just go and use those for going on site with clients. So our charging of their time, I just have them use our cars, and it's all like inside of that hourly rate. For others, it might make more sense for you to actually charge mileage on top of the time. So make sure that you know what the mileage rate is in your country. Your tax department will have actually calculated what the mileage rate is, and then just agree that up front with the client. Hey, so I'll be using my own car, so I'll put mileage on your invoice. It'll be at this rate, and I'll charge from the time that I leave my home to when I get back. It's the standard hourly rate that we have with you. What do you think? Can be as simple as that. It can be an email, it can be in person, and just agree it up front. Now, if I was a client and I had a virtual assistant coming for a whole event, like a whole day, and it was flights, accommodation, etc., I would expect that I would pay for the parking, the flights, and the accommodation, and a day rate. So whatever country you're in, figure out what your total time would be for that whole day, and from the moment that you wake up, the moment that you get home, or overnight, whatever it is, work out what you think would be a fair day rate to charge that client. And then you don't have to worry about, so I tracked my time from this time to this time, but then I had dinner or I went off and met a friend, or blah, blah. None of that matters. Just create one full day rate for when you're away with them.
If you're creating a day rate like that, you are then expected to kind of be on call for that entire time? Excuse me, sorry.
Not necessarily. So you could agree that up front as well. Either you could be you're away, you're working, you're going to be available to them day and night, working on the event or whatever it is, pack down, pack up, etc. You absolutely potentially could be on call for that whole time, or you could have very I'll be available from this time to this time during the event, and that's it. Yep.
Cool.
And then you could pay for your own flights, accommodation, put it on their invoice, or if you have their credit card, you could use their credit card, pay for your flights, accommodation. But make sure you get everything agreed before you do the booking. So the hotel or the flights, make sure that you send them to the client. Hey, this is what it's going to be. Are you okay with that? And get their permission to confirm it.
So there's really no right or wrong way, but you need to have a way. You need to be if you haven't already got a way, you need to be thinking about that way now, if that is something that you're going to be offering in the future, and make sure that it's really clear and you have those conversations from day one, right?
Yeah, that's as long as you agree it up front and the client knows what to expect, you won't have any issues. The issues only come when you haven't agreed anything, you go off and do it, and then you're agonizing at invoicing time of should I charge? Should I not charge? How do I do this? And then just resentment and bad miscommunications. This is really unnecessary. All you need to do is have that conversation up front and agree it. And there's no right or wrong way. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Sam and Jo VA Show. If you'd like to find out more, head to the VA Foundry website to check out the Members Club and the amazing resources, training, and coaching.
You can find us at thevafoundry.com.